Darius, welcome in.
Hey, what up? Thanks for having me on here.
Absolutely. Thanks
Well,
for
that's a
making it
really
happen at
early
butt crack of
picture.
dawn. We appreciate you coming. Hey, Bethany, we're recording. Yeah. Okay. Make sure we're recording for Darius. Okay. Hey, real quick before we start, Darius, we've been
Yeah,
doing for the
awesome.
last hour, we've been running like a content workshop where I walked everybody through our content plan, the types of emails we send out every week and give them examples and templates of it, a little behind the scenes. What we'll do with this interview with Darius, there's kind of two uses of it. Number one is for Shop Talk, like a cool content section. We'd like to, as we engineer Shop Talk going forward, is to have guests on for different segments and do cool stuff with that. We don't exactly know the format, but one of them might be stuff like this going forward. We'll have clients on or different cool people on to share case studies of things they've done recently. The second thing we'll do is we'll actually take this recording, write a full length article, case study on it, email it out to the list, and drive ads to it. Like we'll use this content piece and build the piece out. We talked about mirroring earlier, where we write emails and then mirror it across different channels. We'll do that with this interview. So y'all be looking out for it. It'll probably be first of the year before we send it out to everybody. But be looking for that and you'll see how we actually take this content piece and adapt it for other channels. So just a little behind the scenes before we get going into interview mode. So Darius, thanks for being here.
Thanks for being me. Thanks for having me on, man. It's freaking early over here, like 6 p.m. I'm not usually a morning person. I think that's a very young picture that you have over for me. I think that was like when I was 20. I think this was about 2 years ago. I think just want to correct on the 30K. Actually, we calculated it was a 55K month for us actually last month.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, so we were able to hit 55K.
And we'll work into some of the details of that and kind of give the full story as we go. Before we jump in, Darius, what is your business? What product do you sell? Who's your best client? Give us a quick overview of the product you sell and who you help.
All right, awesome. So pretty much we're running a coaching and consulting business, and we help coaches and consultants transform into six-figure visionary leaders via automated systems with organic scaling systems specifically. So ultimately, what we help clients to do is to scale to six figures without paid ads at all.
And what's the offer? Is it
so the offer, yes.
coaching, consulting? Like what
So
product
the
type?
offer is ultimately coaching or consulting. It's either done with you or done for you. Ultimately, we have a coaching mastermind, and we also have one-to-one kind of done for you systems in your business. Ultimately, our offer is at least, so we have three price packages, and it's at least 5 figures for each of our coaching packages. Yeah.
What are those price points?
Okay, so the price points is we have so our basic entry will be 10K, and then after that, if I'm not wrong, it's 10K, 14K, and then one-to-one, that's about 20K. Yeah.
Okay. And that's per month, one time?
No, that's 1 year. 1 year on a lump sum. If not, we can do it installment. Installment, obviously, there's a bit of interest, about 1K, 2K interest. Yeah.
Cool. So 10K and 14K for the coaching offer and 20K for the consulting offer, both 12-month programs.
Yep, correct.
Okay, cool. So how do you get customers right now? Where do your leads come from that you sell, get on calls with and close them? Where do they come from?
So our leads come from Facebook groups and Instagram that pretty much channels itself to the email list. And then from the email list, that's where we use to convert. But our highest converting channel will be the DMs and the emails, certainly these two. So because we use the whole normal of leads to DMs and then to calls, right? So we're based off the appointment setting system. And so through our appointment setting system, ultimately what we're leveraging on is really high quality leads that come in. So our closing rate is about 90 to 95% on an average basis, because ultimately I'm the one that actually takes the call. Because ultimately I want to review every single person that comes in, because since our program is like a high ticket program to begin with, it's a lot easier. I'm not having hundreds of calls every month. I'm not the kind of person that brags like, I have 100 calls this month. Ultimately, in the 55K month, we got about seven quality calls that ultimately we've already been refining through the email. So we're very, very strict with the kind of people that we want to hop onto the call in the first place. We put a lot of disqualifiers, put a lot of red flags about what kind of clients we don't want to work with. And then we put a lot of green flags about what are the specific kind of clients that we want to work with. So these are people that we realize are very client obsessed. Right? They care a lot about their clients. It's every single day they're fighting in the trenches for their clients, because that's the kind of person I am. I cannot work with people that don't really care too much about clients. Like if their business are the kind of business that, they just want to work only 2 hours, 3 hours a day in the business, I'm not for that. because I don't see how the business can grow and scale if you're just working 2 to 3 hours, unless let's say you happen to have a lot of people in your team, then sure, I think that can work in like a 2 hour or 3 hour kind of work week, right? Like Tim Ferriss. If not, I'm not really that kind of person to go to if you really want to work 3 to 4 hours. So then you might be asking, wait, but you talk about automated systems, right? Because that will really help you save your time, right? Isn't that the pitch to get people in the first place? Yes. So my whole proposition is this. What we're doing is really freeing and developing leaders in the first place to lead the team, to manage the delivery, because we found out that coaches and consultants, right? What do we really do our best at?
Hey Darius, hey, real quick. Can I cut in real quick?
Yep.
I want to know about your lead specifically. So we'll get to offer here in a second and all the details
Yep.
of that. That's good. Lead specifically. Let me recap what I think you said and make sure I understand where your leads come from. They come from Facebook. Does that mean a Facebook group, a Facebook page, Facebook ads? What's the mechanism?
It's Facebook group and Facebook profile. Pretty much quite simple.
So,
it's just Facebook group and Facebook profile. I don't use a page at all because page organic reach is pretty dead.
Okay. So last month you ran a price increase campaign that ended up bringing in how much money?
55K.
How did you run the campaign? Why did it generate so much revenue?
All right. Pretty much, I think the launch price increase was the inspiration from your own launch price increase a few months back. So we use similar structure in terms of your price launch increase plus a few of our email campaign series in terms of belief shifting. Let me share more about that.
You there?
Yeah, I'm there.
You broke up towards the end. Say your last sentence again. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. So pretty much we have this price increase launch campaign that we got from the series of emails that you sent. Yeah. And then we add on our own belief shifting emails as well for our
why did you decide to raise the price? Like, it's one thing to run a price increase campaign, but like what led to the decision to raise the price to begin with?
Okay, I think ultimately the reason why is because the kind of clients that we serve are people that already have been hitting about let's say 3K or 5K a month in their coaching and consulting business. So they're not totally new, like starting from the zero. And so when we realize that the kind of people that we serve are not people starting from zero, then we realize that they have a higher purchasing power in order to go about spending more on our programs and into our masterminds as well. And because if I really want to make sure to increase the experience, increase the quality of the mastermind, then ultimately I also need to rake in more revenue, I need to rake in more profit per person that comes in. So what we realize is that instead of going for volume, right, because there's either one way to go about increasing, right? You can go about increasing the volume of sales, or you can go about increasing the price of sales. So for me, what we're gonna get is ultimately we can either increase the volume or we can increase the amount of sales that we're getting in our company. So what we decided to do is increase the amount of sales by increasing the price, because we realize that people are willing to go about paying the amount that we're looking for when it comes to the price increase. Because so we realize
let me interject. Your prices are 10,000 and 14,000. What were they before?
Ultimately, the price is actually 10,000 and 14,000 before. I'm saying the before price.
Okay.
Before when you're asking in terms of offer.
So what did you raise them to?
So what we're planning to is we're raising them to 15K, and then we're introducing a new introductory offer at the start, probably at around next year. Probably next year we'll introduce a new introductory offer for people who are maybe at the lower range of like 0 to 3K. And we'll probably price it about like 7.5 to 8K, not really at the 10K mark. Yeah, because maybe they're not able to afford that price mark. But for people who want to join more of like our like mastermind offer, where pretty much people are around like the 5 to 10K, and a lot of them are actually more than 10K already. Then what happens is we get them into our mastermind. And then so we'll pretty much be splitting this offer into two. We have these people from like the 0 to 5K mark that wants to hit like, the 10K to 20K mark. And then we have those people from the 10K mark and then who wants to go until 30K. Because what I realized is that after a while, I realized that there's a need to distinct these two groups because they have very different challenges ultimately altogether. We have these people who are, just kind of starting out, they're struggling to even get leads and clients. And then you have these people who are already getting leads and clients. They're a little bit comfortable, but that's the reason why they want to be in the mastermind, because they want to push to a level of discomfort. They want to grow their business. They want to scale their business ultimately. So yeah, that's what we realized we have two groups. So that's why we're creating a new offer and then by doing a price increase as well. And also one other reason why we're doing the price increase is also because it became a little bit too effortless when it comes to the closing calls. When I realized that I wasn't getting any objections about price, when I show the price and people just go like, oh, okay. And then I realized, okay, then it's becoming a little bit too no-brainer. There's no objections, there's no resistance. That's why I realized, okay, then this is a good time to raise the price. Since the closing rate was like close to about 100% for like a few months already, then I realized, okay, then there's a need to go about increasing the price.
That's a really good insight, and also something almost no one does. I remember when I launched my first course ever, I emailed a mentor and told him, I was like, man, our conversion rates are whatever, 50% or whatever it was. He's like, oh, that's great. Also, that means you're just severely underpriced. Like, it's just too easy. So we raised the price and revenue went up 2.5x. So it's a scary thing to raise probably the single most objected to strategy that I recommend to some clients, that I think 100% of the time I've recommended it's got objected to, is raising the price. I found that nearly anyone can raise their price and increase revenue by 25% or more immediately. Like, especially if the business is rolling at all. Like, if you're super early stage, it's another conversation. But if you've sold, dozens of units or hundreds of units of whatever the thing is you sell, almost everyone can raise the price immediately and see a significant increase. We saw, Darius, 2 years ago, we raised the price of our coaching 6 out of 12 months in a row. And not only did revenue go up, but conversion rates went up every time. Like, we thought we would raise the price to decrease quantity, so we would have a little more just breathing space to increase quality of product, but it actually did the opposite, increased revenue and conversion rates, which perfectly fine problem to have, but raising price is one of the most interesting things. Okay. So question for you, Darius, was this an email only campaign, or how did you communicate the price increase? Where did that happen at? Email, Facebook? What did you do?
Yeah. So ultimately we push it onto three of our major platforms. So Facebook, Instagram, and ultimately email. Yeah. Okay. Just that with email, we decided to send more email campaign trips compared to Facebook and Instagram, because there comes to a point in time where how many times are you posting onto Instagram or Facebook consecutively for like this promotional post, right? And if I just keep posting again and again, engagement just drops and drops and drops over time. Then pretty much no one will come and see my post. It's a little bit hard to go about reviving that. Yeah. So in the email campaign series, there are much more, I think about 4 or 5 more copies that we actually send out to our clients, actually our prospects from the list.
How many emails did you send?
So I think I sent in total about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think I sent about 9 in 1 week. 9 emails. So the 9 emails contain of the price launch increase that we learned from you, and then the other 4 is actually from the belief shifting. So what we decided to do is to shift the beliefs of themselves, the alternative solutions in the market, because there are other people that are doing the same, similar thing. I won't say talk about automated systems, I guess, but there are a lot of people that do organic marketing, right, in the field. Yeah, nowadays with the whole oversaturation of the industry. And then belief shifting about our solution, why our solution is very, very different from everyone else in the market. And then belief shifting about themselves. Yeah, because they have to overcome some of their struggles deep within themselves to want to work with us in the first place. Yeah.
How many people are on your list?
About 1,000 on our list. Yeah, about 1,000 on our list.
So 1,000 people, 9 emails, $55,000 of revenue in 1 week.
Yep.
That's extremely impressive. Good job. Yes. I can't tell you. I think Jake, or the arrows of your name, so I can't see your first name. Anyway, he was giving you applause. Like, legitimately, that's really good. Would you mind, Darius, if we followed up and got a copy of the email so we could share?
Yeah, sure. That would be awesome. That's cool.
Okay, cool. We'll follow up with you and get a copy of those. And I'd love maybe next Shop Talk, we can share them and kind of walk through them so folks can see that. If you haven't, for everybody listening and watching this, if you haven't run a price increase campaign, it is one of the best promotions. Like, you don't have to open and close. You don't have to add bonuses. Like, raising your price, we have found, has the most urgency than any other type of promotion we've ever run. Just rate if you have never raised your price before, it will work fantastically. So if you're interested, if you're watching live here, just drop interested in chat if you want us to kind of get on the phone with you, kind of walk through your business, see if a price increase campaign would make sense for you. If so, we can kind of outline the email sequence for you, walk you through how to do that really well. Would love to do that. Darius, for you, zooming out on your business, what are your big goals you're working on right now?
Oh, wow, that's many big. That's a really great question.
What's your number one thing you're working on?
For 2022? Yeah, so ultimately, what we are really working on for our business is to introduce even more systems into our business, because we're really running through like automated systems. So how do we even come up with automated systems in the first place? Is because all these automated systems are usually based off like Google Sheets and a lot of Zapier and here and there. So like we have like automated systems like creating assets. That means whatever lead magnets that people want to create, or let's say collecting testimonials. That's a really step-by-step sequence that we get people to follow through. So our whole business is really filled with a lot of SOPs in the form of WIG, right? So that when people come in, there's a very detailed step-by-step how they're going to go through and how they can run that whole automation flow. So let's say in terms of proof, right? Hop onto the Zoom call, ultimately the Zoom call immediately get transcribed sends it to their team to get transcribed into a whole case study, right? Place it into like a before, during the process and after kind of effect, and then the case study goes onto the website. Right? So on our website, we place all our case studies. So there's quite a few more steps I'm not describing here, but that's kind of like the brief overview of how it looks like. So what we're really focusing on is churning out, because we got totally booked out after the last month. So we realized that we have to go and hire. So yeah, correct. So our new goal is to hire a new content writer and creator from us, because we're quite big on social media. And then the second one is in terms of creating more delivery for our clients in terms of systems.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. Hey, great job. 1,000 people, 9 emails, 1 price increase campaign, so many calls that you had to like hire people to help with it all. Thank you for sharing, Darius. We'll follow up to get emails so we can share with everybody, and we'll do a full write-up on this and share it with you when we do, and let everybody know so they can read the case study and walk through every detail of that and process it. And I would encourage everybody, if you don't have a price increase campaign planned for next year, plan one in Q1. If you want us to kind of look at it and give you advice on how much you increase it by and all that, feel free to put interested in chat or reach out to us after the fact, and I can give you a second set of eyes on that to make sure it would make sense in your scenario. But Darius, great work. Thanks for jumping on at 6 a.m. Ben, grab Darius's address. Let's get him a copy of Breakthrough. Do you have a copy of Breakthrough Advertising, Darius?
No, I don't. I don't have
heard of the book?
Physical copy. Yeah, I've read the book, but I don't have the physical. Right, yeah. I would love the physical copy.
We gave away 2 on the thing, and I feel like for waking up at 6 a.m., we got to send you one. So Bethany or Ben will follow up with you and get your address and get you one sent over to you. Great book. It took me, last year I read it. I'm either a really fast reader or a really slow reader. Last year I took 6 months to read it and went through just each chapter, recorded videos, and kind of like as I was doing each chapter, he walks through, I don't know how to describe it, but anyway, he walked through these different ad concepts, and I would try to like fully digest it real time. And it would have taken me forever to do the stupid book, but now I have like basically a course made to go through the thing, which is helpful. But anyway, but really good book.
Yeah, it is. I think it's one of the most fundamental books when it comes to copywriting at the end of the day. Yeah, so that's a really very in-depth kind of book that people want to learn when it comes to copywriting or advertising in nature as well.
There's another one called that actually, I think it's written by Mark Batterson. No, that's not his name. That's another guy. Anyway, it's called Great Leads, and it's $20 book. It's not some insane $400 book like Breakthrough Advertising, but it's actually, in my opinion, is better. Like because Breakthrough Advertising is so old. Like the way he writes, it's a little messy. And it's kind of hard to like fully digest the thing. But Great Leads is like all the Breakthrough Advertising modernized and way easier to read the thing, and anybody can get it. So if you haven't read that one, that might be one to pick up, especially for new content writers and whatnot. That can be like it's really, really good. It's like all the good stuff from Breakthrough Advertising, cheaper and easier to understand. So internally, I would recommend Great Leads more often. If we're doing giveaways, everybody knows Breakthrough Advertising, and it's a cool hook, and that it's a $500 book we give away, so we'll use it there. But as far as like pure writing and understanding, Great Leads is better. Anyway, all right, Darius, thank you so much. I won't take up any more of your time. Thank you for coming. I appreciate you. And we'll keep in touch and keep rooting for you. And obviously we're coaching you. So anything we can do to help you, we'll be actively following you and reaching out.
Thank you so much for having me on.
See you, Darius. Bye.
See ya.